Hi, good evening. My name is Joanne Schultz, and welcome to my show, It's All About You. And tonight, you're going to have a great opportunity to watch a coaching conversation with Suzanne Barnett, also a great TV person. So welcome, Suzanne.
Thank you. I am really thrilled to be the interviewee and to especially have you coach.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to
treat.
see where it takes us. That's the greatest part about this.
I wonder.
Deep breath.
Okay.
So we thought that maybe our theme for tonight could be making peace with time, but we'll see where it takes us. So I think it'd be really nice if you could give a little bit of background about yourself, about what this beautiful life is that you're leading.
Well,
leaving.
It's pretty beautiful now, but for the last 10 years, I have been a widow, and it's been very difficult for me because I had a great husband, second husband. First husband wasn't so great. But, you know, yin and the yang. So
a lot of people shaking their heads with you around that one.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. But what I've done that I'm really pleased about, Joanne, is that I feel that I have gotten my life together in the last 10 years, thanks to having an attitude that's positive. And I always have felt that I have a choice. I can be either positive or negative. It has not been easy, but right now I'm very satisfied with my life. I'm kind of afraid to say that because, you know, maybe something bad will happen, but I don't think so. However, because I had a very bad experience in September and I turned into an old lady, okay? And so for the last whatever month, I've been so preoccupied with not wanting to die. So the stress that I encounter, Joanne, is that I want to get everything in my life that I can get into now. And that creates a lot of time things with me. And I'm trying to do so much because I don't want to die. I want to just have as much fun and so forth that I can have while I can have it.
And are you?
Yes.
Yeah, you're having a great time.
I really am.
So that's good. We should take a moment and just say, woohoo, you know, you're having a great time.
Yes.
So the stress comes from?
Overbooking.
Overbooking.
Yeah.
Huh.
That I have a lot of things going on in my life, and I like to do each one of them. But what happens is that the time goes so quickly, and that really upsets me because I want to get all this stuff done. But number one, I don't get it done, not everything that I want to. And then I'm watching the clock because I can't stand to be late. When I was a teenager, if I was 5 minutes late from a date, my mother would punish me for the next week. And of course, I could have gotten killed trying to get home quickly. But she just instilled this time thing. And because I don't have that much longer to live, because I'm so old.
So you say.
Yeah. Well, I'm old chronologically, but I'm not old in my heart.
No, not at all.
Not at all. So what I would like to do is have you help me with this time management, would you call it?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, there's obviously a very deep issue there about dying and time before dying.
Yeah.
And then there's all the way out to the surface something about managing multiple priorities.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit, though, about the stress that you get. Do you get stressed because you're not being able to do everything, or you are doing everything and you get stressed?
Yeah, I'm doing as much as I can do, but then I let a lot of things go by the wayside.
Because you can't do it all.
I can't do it all.
Right. And are you happy with the choices that you're making about what you decided to do?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So there really isn't an issue then about what you're choosing.
No, no, not at all.
You just want more minutes in a day.
Yeah. And I don't want to die.
And you don't want to die. Well, I'm sure you're not alone with that one.
I don't. I hope not.
I know.
But when you're as young as you are, I don't see how young people can relate to the same way that I feel, Joanne. Really.
Oh, well, that's a really good point. You know, I think that's what happens as you age, right? Is that time shifts?
Definitely.
Doesn't it? The definition of it?
Mm-hmm.
So what's different, do you think? What happens between your viewpoint on when you're young versus when you're not as young, in your viewpoint?
I think when you're young, when I was young, I never thought about dying.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't. But as I've gotten older, and I've been around a lot of older people, and a lot of them do have a wonderful attitude. They really do. I can't say that I see a lot of depressed people.
Yeah.
But they seem to be, I'm kind of a type A person, and they seem to be able to be much more mellow with their life compared to me. I've never been mellow.
Yeah, you're pretty intense. Yeah, pretty. And you're still that way. Right. So would you say then that that's changed at all for you? I mean, so when you're in the moment and you're doing all these things that keep your life very busy, right, and overbooked, are you enjoying yourself in the moment of what you're doing?
In the moment, yes, definitely. In the moment. But then after the moment's over, I want that moment to keep going.
Yeah.
And then you have to kind of look at reality and say, hey, it's over. Like whenever I do a TV show and it's over, I get really, I hate to say this, but I get really down. I don't mean it lasts for a long time, but
Right.
I want it to be forever. It's like a hot fudge sundae. I want to keep eating a hot fudge sundae.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But it's funny that you say that too, because at the same token, you're not doing everything because you don't have time for everything. So you come down from the TV show, there's probably 5 things waiting for you to go do next.
Well, that's true.
Right?
Yeah, that's true. So, you know, perhaps, I just thought of something. You're such a good coach.
Oh, thank you.
No, you are. And we talked on the phone, and as I told you, and I really do want to compliment you to the
thanks.
audience, that I have had a lot of therapy in my life. My father was a psychiatrist, psychoanalyst.
That's right.
And of course, the kids from those families are more screwed up. Yay. So, and so I've had a lot of therapy.
We'll do that next show.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. No, but you're a wonderful coach. I mean, you were able to bring so much out in our conversation on the phone too.
Oh, good.
So I'm very comfortable with you.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a courageous topic that I mean, I don't want to make this as light. I want to, you know, you kind of want to keep it light so you can talk about it, but at the same time, it's a very serious topic for you.
Very serious.
And, you know, short of, we already explored, we can't figure out how to make you live longer, right? We could freeze you, we could do, but we can't figure that out. And the comment I did make, a lot of people approach that living longer with, how do I leave a legacy? How do I leave my mark? So maybe, even though I'm leaving, there is still something of me. And your comment to that was, you feel that you've done that.
I don't need to leave any more footsteps or marks or anything. Honey, I've done it. And then some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got kids and you've grandkids and that whole thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, what would help, do you think, to really move you in this conversation about making peace with time?
I think it's discipline and discipline to make sure that I don't talk on the phone too long. I love to talk on the phone, and that I don't do extraneous things when I know that I should be doing, you know, the purposeful things at the time. And it's just a matter of discipline. And one of my big flaws is that I'm not that disciplined. I have a really hot book that I've been thinking about for 40 years. Have you written it? Neither have I, you know.
Right.
And I don't know whether it would be, you know, a bestseller, but it would be a really book full of pathos and fun, because I've had so many interesting experiences. Like, I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. This is really hot.
Is this the
When
guy
I
we have to
say
go beep,
hot,
beep, beep, beep?
yeah, no, it's not a beep beep. But I was married for 26 years, and the day that my husband and I split, I went to my first singles thing. And so in 3 years, I dated 117 men.
Wow.
Because I'm a collector. And because I got married so early, when I was 20, you know, I didn't have an opportunity to date. So I thought, well, what I was going to do was collect men, dates. So I had so many different, unbelievable experiences, and I wouldn't trade them for anything. So what I'm saying is that
You need speed living, like speed dating. You need speed living.
speed living, yeah, I hadn't thought of that. That's what I'm doing.
Well, you know, maybe, you know, just to kind of stay with the book example, maybe it isn't so much about getting to all the things on the list the way that you typically do them. Maybe it's doing it differently.
But how?
Well, so writing a book.
Yeah.
So when you think about writing a book, you're sitting at your computer and you're in journal and you're writing and you're giving that away. But maybe you should do it in a speedier way. Maybe you should have a ghostwriter. Maybe you should be talking to somebody who's interviewing you and then doing the writing. You know, maybe there are different ways to accomplish some of the same things that you want to do.
Oh, that's such a good idea to have, because I'm not a good writer.
And that would slow you way down, and time is precious, right?
Yeah.
So
But to have
like
a ghostwriter. But then I'd have to give up my bridge, right?
Oh. Unless the person you play bridge with is a ghostwriter.
Now you're talking.
So you have to combine some of these things, right?
Yeah.
You got to get 4 people together,
Yeah.
3 other people. They're all going to write. They're going to tell your story. Well, maybe you should be videotaping it. Maybe that's the book. Maybe the book is a video. You're in TV.
Well, one of the reasons I think that I haven't really been that serious about writing the book was because I don't think I want my grandchildren to know all of my lurid stories. You know, that could be.
You have to wait a while.
They're not that lurid. They're just absolutely, they're funny.
Yeah.
And they're sad.
Yeah. That'd be a great contribution. Maybe it is thinking about doing it differently.
To do it differently, yeah.
So is it compelling enough for you to create the discipline, as you call it, around it?
Well, I have the prologue and the epilogue done, and maybe that's the book, because that's quite hot. This is it all, believe me.
That's right.
No, a ghostwriter would be great.
Yeah.
And you know, this is so. I feel so silly about this because I do have such a good life. I'm so lucky. I have a rich life.
So what do you feel silly about?
Well, saying that, you know, I don't have time to complain about something like this. You know, my real issue is that I need to get in touch with the fact that I don't want to die because I don't believe that there's anything afterwards.
Yeah.
And I really delved into it, Joanne, and I just can't seem to believe anybody or anything. So
And you really want to.
I want to.
So
desperately.
do you think if you put that on and believe that there is something after dying, that it would shift you?
Oh, I think I would feel much better about it. And I'm so obsessed with it. I stop people on the street and I say, how do you feel about dying? I mean, everybody thinks I'm nuts, and of course I am, because of my dad.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I can blame him for everything. But it's just so interesting to really talk to people about how they feel about it.
And that doesn't sway you, though. That's more just like interviewing.
Yeah, it's more like I can. So it's one of my best friends believes in reincarnation, and so I said to her, "But if you're somebody else, you come back as somebody else, but you don't know, you don't remember who you are now. Who cares? So if there's reincarnation, maybe I'm too vain or something, but I want to be me. I don't want to be somebody else. Oh, unless I could be a Broadway actress or a Broadway dancer. No, yeah. See, if I could just believe that.
Yeah.
How does one do that?
How does
Joanne,
well,
tell me.
You've interviewed a lot of people. What do they say when they say that they do believe in reincarnation?
Oh, they totally believe it, and they say that, you know, they talk a lot about karma, and that they feel that in their next life that they've had to work out a lot of so-called karma in this life.
Good or bad, right?
Yeah, good or bad. But so what? See, that's my issue, is that if I could just believe that maybe I'll go to another planet or galaxy,
Far
but
away.
that's being so self-absorbed.
Well,
it is
a
really.
very self-absorbed topic, though.
Yes.
I mean, you know, I think that's true. That's, you know, it's the one thing that you do that's just you, right? It's only about you, is dying. It doesn't really matter. But I think that, you know, you've always had this philosophy of having a positive attitude toward everything. And you have told me that you believe, you know, that there are angels that have watched you through your life and helped you out. I even asked you how your guests come to you, and you're like, they just come?
They do.
So there's a lot of magic that already goes on in this life.
It is true.
And
yeah.
It's so funny, really, to think that there would be that cutoff. Like, boom, you died. Nope, no more magic. You know? And I don't know. I don't know if there's more magic or not. Nobody, I mean, we don't really know. I guess there are those studies and some of the information about when people have sort of regressions or they have near-death experiences or they come back, right? And they do have that thematic stuff that occurs, right? You've probably heard about that, right?
I had this guest on one time that he does regressions, and I pretended, you know, on the show, of course, to believe everything he was saying. So he said, as a gift for having me on your show, I will do a regression for you. So he came over to my house, and I had to lie down on the bed. I thought, what is he doing? Well, he wasn't too cute, though, so, I mean, I wasn't really interested. But well, you know, you never know. Come on. Well, and then, you know what my greatest desire is? I'd like to meet a billionaire, but he would have to be over 105, so I could be his trophy lady friend. No, I think of things like that. However, so anyway, this guy did a regression.
So you have to get that done, too, before you die,
well,
right?
that I'm not hoping for. I mean, I'm hoping for, but I know that's practically an impossibility. But anyway, this guy, I was lying on the bed, and he was sitting next to me, and he was doing this, you know, hypnosis thing. And you know what I did the whole time? I made up stories about my regressions. I wasn't being regressed at all, but it's because I didn't believe him.
Right, right.
But he said afterwards, he said, I bet you feel really good about this. And I said, well, I don't know if I really believe it. He said, well, of course you believe it. You know, look at how far back you went. Yeah, because I made it up. So, see, I had that experience.
So, can I just ask you about your father for one question? This sounds like a therapy question, which isn't. I'm just curious.
Sure.
Did he believe in?
No.
No. And he sounds like he was very influential in your life.
Very.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then plus, I mean, you even talked about how if you were 5 minutes late coming home from a date, and you still hold that very clearly.
Right.
So I wonder if there's some things that you have to surrender and let go of.
Well, my early religious training was in Judaism from age 8 to 12, and it was Reform Judaism, which is not like the conservative or the Orthodox. And they totally believed, I mean, what I was taught, that when you die, you go to sleep and you don't wake up. So perhaps that being the earliest training, but I don't want to believe that.
So have you thought about what you want to believe?
I want to believe that there's another life.
Right. But you're searching around for proof.
Right.
But there isn't any.
Is there?
Not that I know of. I mean, I think that's why a lot of people have faith, right? Is that they believe that there must be something else, right?
Plus the fact, Joanne, the people that I know that are religious or have a belief, I think that their present life is so much more tolerable and so much, it's less scary.
Right.
That they have a belief. So, you know, you die, it's natural, but you go on, whatever they believe.
Right.
I think I envy that so much.
That's true. And people, especially when people go through crisis, they often talk about, well, there must be a reason, and this is my path.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if you could just act as if you believed it. What if you said, in the interest of my stress, because you talked about your stress level being high, and in the interest of me keeping my life moving positively forward, I'm going to try this on and see if it helps in that regard. And you know how the old, what's that saying, fake it till you make it, you know? Smile, or, I mean, whatever. And try it on. Instead of interviewing, because you have a lot of data, but try on different viewpoints and see if they help you get deeper to figure out what's in your way. That
really does sound possible for me to do. And here, I'm a prevaricator because I say, you know, everybody has a chance to either be positive or negative. I choose to be positive. So why do I have to be so negative about, you know, nothing after death?
And what kind of an answer do you get when you ask yourself that?
I'm being negative.
Yeah.
By believing that there isn't anything.
And do you know why you are?
Why am I what?
I mean, is it really, I mean, you're calling it negative. It's just sort of what you believe.
It's negative.
It feels negative,
yes,
right?
It feels negative.
Yeah, so that is counter to who you are. So if you were going to create a positive environment for yourself regarding this time period you've got and what goes on, what would make you keep your stress level down? Would it really be to say, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna see what it's like to put on a different belief. And who knows where it will lead you.
You know something, I'm gonna do it. I mean, it's such a bad bad space in that particular, thing.
Well, and you want to reduce your stress because it's stressing you out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I also wonder if it isn't interfering with just enjoyment of the moment, or...
I'm sure it does unconsciously.
Because if you really love being in the moment and doing whatever is in front of you, you do, like a hot fudge sundae that you don't want to quit, then how do you kind of keep that moving? I mean, there's probably something too, I would kind of speculate to say when people get really involved in doing, the human doing functions that we are, they continually keep themselves busy. When you have to create some space to think about the human being, and that is more of a surrendering. And it's not of your nature to do that because it's almost like you've built the wall. You said, nope, this is my belief. And you don't want to hang in that space because it's freaky. It's scary.
It is.
But it's probably a really good idea for you because it may give you some stress reduction.
I am, you know what? Nobody's ever told me that before.
Really?
No. No, because I've been so adamant. There's no destiny. There's no this, like a real atheist. And how do I know that?
Right.
God knows. I don't know.
And I don't know I don't know whether you believe it or not is as significant as what do you want to do to live your life fully now.
Yes, yeah.
Because it is non-negotiable, right? At some level. It's going to happen.
I know. Don't say that.
I know. But
yeah.
So how do you just maximize this time?
By believing in something that's positive. And I have a choice. I can either believe it or not. So why not think that there's going to be, another hot space for me?
Yeah.
And I can write books and be on Broadway and be 20 years old. And
that's right. Well, we have to wrap up. This is such a deep topic, and it seems like we've just...
Yeah, but you've helped me so much, Joanne.
Run around it a little bit.
I really am going to do that. Really, nobody's told me that before. I appreciate it so much.
Oh, cool. Well, courageous topic, courageous. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
And we'll have to wrap up.
Okay.
So thanks. But you and I can continue talking.
Yeah. And you're going to be on my show in May.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for joining in to It's All About You tonight for a really wonderful time with Suzanne Barnett and making peace with time. We wish her all the best.
Thank you.
Both of us. And thank you, and come again. Join us again. Good night.